Hello my friends, John LaRuffa here with another Straight Up Solo. And in this episode we're going to take a look at Terracotta Army from a solo perspective. I'm going to show you how this game plays with the scenario that you have to get online actually to do it by Mr. David Terzi. We'll go ahead and demonstrate a couple of turns and then I will tell you what I think about it. All right, let's get started. Okay folks, and as usual, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't done so already, and if you have, thank you very much. I truly appreciate it. So, this game is very interesting in the fact that it's quite different than anything I have. And I like different. I like variety. This game is all about, I wouldn't say it's necessarily area control. It's about placing these terracotta figures made of clay, these statues, in orientations that are going to score you the most points, both in the 5 rounds that we have of the game, of which I'm starting round 3, and also at the end in groups. And in these placements, you're going to be evaluating each round the lines of which the inspectors are standing, which they may move, and you can move them. And you evaluate for presence and dominance. Dominance meaning you have more than the other player. Presence meaning you just have at least one. And usually that is 7 points for dominance and 3 points for presence, and I think that's the way it really is throughout most of the game. Maybe the end game scoring modifies a little bit. And then you also have these scoring tiles here, which will score for something special. For instance, at the end of this turn, or this full round, it's going to score for presence, or I shouldn't say presence and dominance. Dominance 9 points, presence 4 points, pardon me, for just the guys that are in the middle area right there, right in that middle line. And then as you see here, we have in the 4th round, just the people in this coordinate right here. And then over here, it'll be actually total combined clay, whether it's wet, which is the way you can spend it, or dry, which is the way you cannot spend it. Now, the whole actions of this game, all of them take place on this action selection wheel. This is not a rondel. This is basically just a fluid, movable place where you can modify the actions going on. So if you want to spend 2 coins, you can turn this wheel in the clockwise directions. If you want to spend 2 coins, you can turn this bottom wheel in the counterclockwise direction. You can only turn it once per round, and you can't turn both of them, I don't think. I think you just turn one or the other. So it's not like ridiculous where I'm just going to screw this thing all around. It's just a way to modify the actions, which is very strategic in a lot of ways. Then you also have some of these specialty powers that you can pay into, and if you activate them on this wheel, they will give you something special. And then you have this whole side where you're able to place these master or these specialist. So these are the masters, these are the specialist figurines, and they do something different. For instance, this one, if you surround it by more points than anybody else, you get 8 points. Figures, warrior figures than anybody else, you get 8. If you have presence, you get 2. This gives you, basically, it pushes a tie in your favor if you place this one, depending on where it's facing. And this one, you get 1 point for every warrior figure that's yours in the columns and rows that it intersects. And here, these basically just help you box out people from getting into your way, so to speak. They take up space, but you only end up putting 1 figure on them anyway. So it's kind of interesting in the fact that all this, and you'll see as I play through this round, all this has got a ton of good puzzly fun to try to consider. Now, that being said, the way that the solo bot interacts with this to choose where it's going to go, to choose which units to build, is pretty complicated until it clicks with you. Once it clicks with you, it starts to make sense and it's okay. But you have to learn the game and understand what a good move looks like before it clicks and makes sense. Once you start to understand what a good move looks like, then a lot of his selections start to fall into place quickly. But this one, by far, and hats off to Mr. Terzi for doing this, it is like a 27 point if this and that, if this and that, if not, then this, that, and he had to do it, right? And I commend him for doing it because there's so many places where the AI could place, and there's 4 different units, and there's all sorts of other things to consider. It really is a feat that he did this from a solo perspective. So I am very impressed and very thankful, because most people might just say, I can't do this. It's going to be a multiplayer game. Shoot, even the box is 2 to 4, right? So maybe he surprised the designers and said, never fear, I will figure it out. But anyway, I digress. So let's go ahead and see what a couple of turns look like. There is a whole, like I said, you have to go online and you have to read and understand and at least print off these 2 sheets, especially this one. This one's helpful to understand how the solo player is going to work and to use and interact with them. So on the solo player's turn, they're going to place their 5 guys just like you. But the first thing they do is they roll for decree. All right, that's a 7. So they're going to mark this spot on this. I don't know which one. It's just called a decree chart. But these are going to be like special actions they take after they're done with their turn. So they mark the 7. Then they take one. We look at these 2 dice. Dice are not included. I just added these. And you have to move this 1 spot. And then he's going to put his little craftsman over here. And then he's going to take the actions just mostly like you would. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to upgrade this craftsman to an artisan, making it a little bit more effective as far as blocking people and everything else. Second, he's going to take 2 wet clay, which he's going to use to spend. Third, he's going to flip over his weapon token that matches this. All right, now that he's done his turn, he's going to come here and resolve any of these decree tiles that may have been, or these decrees that may have activated. This one says, for 1 clay, you build a figure. If not enough clay, you resolve a spare action instead. And a spare action is kind of the default way that he gets clay, money, and points, depending on the scenario. But we have the 1 clay. So we're going to take the clay, we're going to place it face up here, because you discard 1 of your clay no matter what you spend to these warehouses face up in the dry section. I should say not face up, but dry section. Put the rest in here out of the game. Now, which one's he going to build? So the rules say he's going to build the one that he has weapons available for first, okay? Which means that's right here, way back. If he didn't have a weapon available, I think it goes next to the ones worth most points, and it kind of cascades down through a bunch of things. Now, I'm going to highly recommend that you, if you're going to want to get into this game, study that chart, do your best to understand it. I'm not going to go through all the selection criteria because it's lengthy, but I'm just going to kind of show you the way this game plays more than anything else. So he's going to build this one because he has this crossbow available. As soon as you build one of these, you get the points associated with where it is in the column. So this is 5 points to him. And by the way, he is throttling me at this point. I have not figured out the strategy to be nearly as good as him yet, but I'll get there. Then you have to figure out where he's going to put it. So what he's normally going to do is follow this situation right over here, which is kind of like a priority. So first he's going to try to place it in a place where he could gain dominance. Then a place where he can make it a tie for dominance. Then a place where he's trying to catch up. Then a place where he can challenge me, grow his lead, and grow his own from the scratch. All right, so right now, we are tied for dominance here in this spot because he has 2, I have 2. And so what he's going to do, he's going to try to increase that. He's going to try to get dominant himself. Then we look at the priorities of where he would go. So in this case, this is like priority number 1 because these 2 would score, but this is full. So then he would go to priority number 2, which would be these spots over here. Considering that there's a guy here that scores him points, the logical thing to do would be he's going to keep going here. So that means he's going to get more points for this guy at the end, plus he's going to gain dominance. It helps if you use some of your logic there, and it can free you up from making some of these mind-boggling decisions for him. Once you figure out what the best move is, if you just say he's going to take the best move, it pretty much covers it. So he places that down, and then he flips over his token, and his crossbow, I don't have it printed out, but I'm going to reference it. I believe it's just you gain 3 points. I got to use my iPad over here to reference that. But I'm pretty sure basically what he does is he gains 3 points. Archer, even though it's not an archer, it looks like a crossbowman. 3 points. Okay. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Now it's my turn. I can go anywhere I want on this wheel. I could pay to move it, but I don't have enough stuff. I do have 2 clay that I could spend if I find a spot for 2 clay, which I do. So we're going to score for that line, like I said. I have a plan. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. The first thing I'm going to do is spend those 2 clay. So I take 1, I put it in the warehouse. Now, we went there. We paid the 2. We were in the process of paying the 2. We're going to build a figure. I can build whatever I want, but I do want to use a weapon if I can. I've started a dominance thing over here, just off in its own little world there. And what I think I'm going to do... Okay, so watch this. So, I will take this guy, this halberd guy. He's worth 5. So we're going to put him down. And I'll move my marker 5. I'm going to put him right here because I want to start a group on this. First of all, I want the score track. Second of all, I want this to score. I get some presents. Then I'm going to flip this over. And what this lets me do is it lets me move. I don't think I score points. I think I just move. Move one of my army units anywhere I want. Oh, no, it does score 3 points, then I move them. Okay, so 3 points. 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to move this guy right here. I'm already losing this battle for dominance. I can maybe move this guy. He'll score more for me later. And then I can start a new dominant group over there if I can bail out, which might make some sense. So I'm going to do that. Okay, then I take 2 clay for my next move here. And then I can recharge my halberd with the last one. All right, go back to him now. He's going to roll 2 dice. He gets a 9, so he's going to mark the 9 space. Then we look at the smaller one, and we move his overseer around 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to take this spot right here. He's going to go here. He gets 4 clay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if he has this master tile, he would activate it. Because he does not, and he only does this at the beginning of his cleanup phases or the interim stuff, he does not do that. He does a spare action. So his spare action is going to say, if you have less than 5, which I don't, clay, you go ahead and get clay. Otherwise, you get coins. So he's going to take the coin. He's going to score 2 points. Where is he? Here we go. 1, 2. All right. Then finally, over here, he's going to check to see if he activates one of these tiles. Well, he has no weapons that are inactivated, so he's not going to be able to do any of that. He does not, in the outer ring, you do not get a spare action, which is what I just did, if you can't fulfill it. You just don't do anything, and that applies to him. Now it comes over here, and it says he's going to build again. It looks like he's building for 3. All right, so these decree charts really have him build fast. That's why he has so many more people out here than I do. He has nothing that he can activate it. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to go to a spot that gives him the most points, which would be this one right here with 6, or this one right here with 6. In the case of his scoring criteria, he has some spots that could help him down here, but he doesn't have anything for this one. So he's going to start one of these right here. He's going to get 6 points for that guy, as you can see. And then he's going to place it in the spot like I told you for the priority. Well, he wants to place it in this spot, which is going to help him score. Now, where is the best place for him to do that? You'd have a chart to look at it and see. Excuse me. But I'm going to put it right here. And my reasoning for why he's going there without consulting the chart is that he blocks me from starting a group over here and maybe, kind of puts himself into that. He doesn't get points over here. Actually, no, I take that back. He'll want to go over here because he'll at least score some more points from that guy. Okay, so that's what he's going to do. And we remove that. His turn's over. Back to me now. Maybe I could demonstrate something else here. So this one's not so bad. That would give me a bunch more clay. I've got a lot of clay. I don't have enough coin to do any rotation. That would help me recharge. Maybe I'll just take an off turn here to recharge this, because I can use that. Well, actually, I have a halberd guy, and I'm trying to think about if I was to put this guy over there, I could surround him pretty easily and hopefully score 8 points at the end of the game. So let's see how we would do that. To do that, we have to build a special, it's one of these. And I have that, and I have the money. Okay, I do have all the things I need. So perhaps then we would want to do, maybe we get a bunch of money and then get that done. Let's do that. Let's go ahead and get a bunch of money and get that done, because I want to use this money later. So that's 3 and 2 is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then I want to build this special tile right here. Well, it costs me flipping over my halberd, paying the 1 coin, and I want to put it right here, because in this condition, I am the only one touching it, and I have at least a lead on trying to surround it. If I can surround it, I can get 8 points all myself. He can't take anything. So I like that. And as you build these, you get more, they become more and more expensive. Okay, so that's my turn. We're going to roll for his decree now. He rolls a 5. So the 5 goes here. He's going to turn this at the end of his turn. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to look in this direction. So 3. He does have 3 clay to build that warrior. He's going to put 1 over here. I always forget to mark this right away. All right, then he's going to do the same thing. If he had weapons available, he doesn't. So he's going to choose between this and this. Given the situation here, he's already started started a spot right there. So he'll take this one. That way he can get a little group together. Build over there for the scoring. And that gives him 6 points. So he's up here. He's at 147, by the way. So he's already really clobbering me. All right. So we did that. If he had a guy down here, he would try to do it. He does not have a guy in there, so he doesn't do it. So he's going to take that spare action. So he's going to take one of those and then get 2 points. And then finally, he's going to see if he can activate one of these. He cannot, so he doesn't do anything. All right, so back to me now. I have a bunch of coins, and what I think I'd like to do is I could rotate a little bit to yeah, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try, because I've got, well, there's a 2 over there, and I don't have anybody there, but that might help. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to pay 2. It's going to rotate this 1 spot. Then I'm going to place my guy here. I'm going to spend 2 clay. That one's getting pretty high over there. 2 clay to build a warrior. I still want to dominate that middle spot. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm building up this. Oh boy, that's a tough call. Yeah. We're going to do this anyway. So I want to do this. I want to build it up. At least now I can make sure I'm continuing to try to block him. Okay. I don't have a weapon, so I can't do anything special there. That was a 5. So I move myself up to 77. And then that'll be good. Now, I want to get this. It cost me 4. By the way, I noticed a little printing error. This says 3 on one side. If you flip it over, it says 4. I think they accidentally goofed up the front and back rotation of some of the colors. So be wary of that. Make sure you don't accidentally overpay or underpay, because they should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's how the way it should work. Okay, so I'm going to be able to do this because of this action right here. So I got to pay 4. Bummer. I was a little shy because I rotated that around. Well, never you mind. Instead, I will take the spare action, and the spare action will give me 1 coin. And I believe that's all I get, because the spare action does not award 2. It's just one or the other. And it also doesn't award you points. It just awards him points. Let me just be 100% sure on that. I think the rule book, by the way, on this game was pretty well done. There was a lot of stuff to kind of go into. Yes, it says 1 wet clay or 1 coin. Well, I'll take the coin. And that's what I just did. Okay, so then I don't get that, but I do get to flip the halberd over, which is good, because I do want that in the future to maybe allow me to build another 8-pointer if I can pull it off. Okay, and I just realized I forgot to do his number 5 thing, which means I was supposed to rotate that inner ring and then flip one of his tiles. So, sorry about that, guys. Because I was supposed to do that, he actually paid for that, which means I would have actually the money to do that other action. And so that means that I would be able to pay the 4 and demonstrate what I was talking about. So 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end of the cleanup, we'll get this, and then I can double the spot of one of the rings inside. And that's what that means. So it says, perform the action of the inner ring again, including paying any resources. So what that would let me do is it would allow me to perform this, but unfortunately I don't have the tiles to do it, so I will just gain 1 coin anyway instead. Yeah, sorry for the convolution there, but we're back on track. Okay, so we've done that. It's time for him to go. He's got 2 more turns, I got 2 more turns, and then I'll show you a scoring, which is important to see. Okay, so 5, he's going to mark this 5 again, and this time I'm going to remember. He moves 2 spaces, 1, 2. He's going to perform a wash tile. Well, he doesn't have the soaked clay, so what he does, he just takes the clay from the supply equal to the number of dry clay in the largest warehouse stack. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he's going to take 8 clay, because his clay never dries out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Cheater. And he has a clay humidor or something there. He can keep them nice and wet. So he does that. Then he gets 2 coins. Then he flips his crossbow. Now, we're going to remember, we're going to rotate this again. We can flip this, but we don't need to, so we do a spare action. So he does a spare action. He's going to definitely get coins now. He's got a ton of coins, and I get 2 points. Back to me, and of course, I love to try to forget these things. Back to me now. So if I wanted, I could place my artisan right there and take the exact same move. But I don't, because I really do want to wash some clay to get this going. And that way I can maybe build one more time before we score. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go here. I wash the clay, or soak it, I mean. So I soak it, so I get all these things. And these will flip to dry at the end. I don't think, it doesn't make sense for me to do much else. Then I'm going to get the 2 of these, and then I'm going to flip this. So it's kind of a pause turn there until I get one more build turn. All right, and then finally we come to him for his last one. So he's going to mark 7, and he's going to move it 1. Now, when he's got an artisan already there, he just skips that, goes to the next spot. So in this one, he's going to spend 4 clay. Darn, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's unfortunate for me. And he now has weapons for both of these. He will do the one he prefers, which is the one furthest to the left, if at all possible, which makes sense because that's also the one for more with the most points. So he's going to get 6 points right away on that. Then, where is he going to place it? So, he's going to place it in a spot that helps him beat me for dominance. So right here, I have dominance. So him going here it does two things. Number one, now he ties up for dominance, but because he has this little guy pointing at that guy, he now gains dominance in that when we score it. Plus, he then gets in on the action over here. So as this fills in, it becomes much easier to understand what he's going to do. When it's empty, it's a little bit harder. But that's what he's going to do. And so now he's done that. Then he's going to flip this over, and his bonus for the dagger, I think that is, or the spear, he gains 2 and 2 coins. So he gets 2 points, 1, 2, and 2 coins. All right, then if he has the blacksmith, which he does, he would then do that. So what does the blacksmith let him do? Looking at his thing here. Let's find out. There's a lot of stuff that you do have to learn, no doubt about it. Okay, Master Blacksmith. When resolving the Master Blacksmith, flip all the Prime Minister's weapons tokens to available. Well, that's nice for him. Just like you would, I guess. And then finally, he's going to do a special, and you bet he's going to do a special. And the one he's going to want to do first is the one on the left. He never places a horse, so it won't be that. So it's going to be this halberd one. And it says, the Prime Minister is willing to place a footman, which is one of these guys. I think it's a footman. As long as you can, where it basically means he's guaranteed to get 8 points. So the place he'd be guaranteed to get 8 points on this scenario right here is nowhere, because he does not have a spot, if I can tell. So wait, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, because this would be the closest to it, and I could then surround it. We would tie. So he's not going to do that. So then he's going to look at placing one of these to break a tie in his favor. And that would probably be right here, because I've got the tie right now. So he'll probably place that one. He'll flip it over. 1, 2, 3 coins. No sweat for him. He's got a bunch of them. I think that's what's, well, it's what's next on his thing. Let's see. No, wait. He would want to go to this one first, because it's not an order here. It's an order here. So he would actually spend 4 to place the musician, and he'd place the musician in a place where there is a difference where he basically get twice as much as me if we scored it right now. And that would be something to the tune of that, because he's going to get a ton of points for that. Okay. So, and actually even more, he placed it over here, because now I don't get any points from that. Well, I get 1 point instead of 2 points from the placement, but he gets the same amount. All right, so now we're done with musicians. He's placed them all. And we come back. Let's see. So yes, we're done there. And now he says he builds a clay. He builds another warrior. Cheating. No, I'm just kidding. Builds another warrior. And he's going to do one that he has the weapons available for. And then from there, the ones, so it's going to be one of these. He already has dominance over there. He's probably going to build to get dominance. So right now we're tied. So he's going to go here. He's going to build this, because then he can get some more dominance. Like so. Or he goes in the center, because that's going to score him. Well, no, he's going to do this because this will also score him more. Well, he's already got dominance there. That's a tricky call. Again, I'm not going to look it up, because, but what I would think he would do is he'd want to tie me for the center. He doesn't want to give me those points. So in fact, he is going to build this one, because what he can do is he can build that. It is his most favored weapon anyway. He goes here, and when going there, now we're tied up. So we're not going to get, I'm not going to get 9. We'll both get the 4. Nice move. Okay, so I did that, so it's 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus, he flips over his thing, and when he flips over his sword, we do what? 2 points. Then he moves one of the inspectors one place forward, which is going to help him, or backwards. So yeah, gosh, that is really rough for me. So he's going to move this like that, and then it's also 2 points. 1, 2. All right, my last turn, and then we'll score, and I'll show you how that all goes, and then I'll tell you what I think about this. Now I gotta build. I've got to build, and the question is, when I build, what else can I do? I won't have enough coin for that. That will help me get more clay, which I don't need at the moment. That will give me at least some stuff and flip over a, yeah. Let's just do that. Okay. We're going to go here. I spend 3, which I have an abundance of. And then I'm going to see if there's anything I could do, which I don't think I can, to mess with his plans. Well, you know what? One thing I can do, I can at least put the kibosh on his dominance over here. And I'm okay with that. So let's see. Oh, you know what I just thought of? I wonder if the halberd lets you move anybody's, including someone else's. So it says the guard, and then move one of your warriors. Okay, boy, that would be that would be infuriating, I think. So I believe my favorite option here is this. So I pick this guy up. I'm going to put him here. It pretty much solidifies. Oh, man, I'm having all these revelations here. Not this guy. Let's go here. First of all, it's still worth 5. Second of all, I can take away that dominating factor for him, because right now we're tied, plus he's got the tiebreaker. Not so fast. Ba-blam. Okay, so I do that. That is worth, like I said, 5 points. It's 82. I flip this over, and that will give me another point and 2 coins. All right. The round is now over, so what we're going to do is we're going to score. So the first thing you do when you score is you take a look at the inspectors, okay? So we're going to score for each inspector, and we look and see who's got the most in each line. So here, we'll score this one first. 1, 2, 3, 4 to my 1. So he clearly has the most there, so he's going to get 7 points. I have one guy there, I get 3 points. Then the inspector moves up. Here, we've tied. And he doesn't have any tiebreakers. So in the case of a tie, let's see. I think we just both get the 3. Almost 100% sure we both get. Yeah, I know we do, because we both have presence, but there is no dominance. So we both get 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this moves up. Then we score for musicians. So here, it's number of people in the line, right? So I have in here 1, 2, 3 in his line. So it's 3 to me. Unfortunately, he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he gets 5. That's that musician. Now we go to this one. Well, let's go to this one. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yikes. He's pounding me. And I get 1. Then we go to this musician. I have 1, 2, 3. And then he has 1, 2, 3 also. So that's a push. And then finally, this musician over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to him. He just lapped me. And 1, 2 to me. I have a lot of thinking to do in this puzzle for sure. Now we finally do this score. Because both of us have the tie in dominance, we both have presents, so we both get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We flip this over and we go to the cleanup phase. In the cleanup phase, we remove all of these. It goes back to our personal supply. He will then put another one of these out in any of these 3 spaces. We'll roll for it. Okay, he's going to put it out in space number 4. And that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. That's how I counted that one. He doesn't get anything, he just puts it out, and that way he can use it. And actually, I think I must have missed one earlier, because I think I'm 1 behind, because, no, I'm right, because we're starting round 4. Yep, never mind. Okay. I think I'm right. Yeah. And then, is there anything else in cleanup? I don't think so. I think that's it. We've done... Oh, we received coins. So what happens is then his stuff stays wet. Mine will flip over. Now, because of these spots here that I'm in, I can save 2 clay on the wet side. The rest of it flips over for me. And then I get 1 coin per guy that has a coin in there. So that's 2. So it's a little bit of income, a little bit of help. And that should be it. All right. So you saw a big portion of what this game has to offer. Let's go ahead and I'll tell you what I think. So that is Terracotta Army with the solo mode by David Turczi. What a brain-burning puzzle this is, I think. There is so much to consider, which is a lot of fun. I don't find that the rules are too difficult. There's not a lot to look up except for some of those special abilities, which could have been handled, again, on a nice little player aid. A little player aid would have made this so easy. But either way, it's not too tough to look up because in the rule book itself, I mean, it is on the very back page. So yes, you've got it. And you've got this. So it's not tough. It's not buried. I'll give you that. But a little player aid with some of those steps wouldn't have hurt. Anyway, regardless, this is a very, very satisfying game to play. You see that I'm getting crushed. I have a lot of learning to do. The bot builds statues faster than you can, so you really have to put on your thinking cap to figure out how you're going to match him and also outmaneuver him in what he's doing. And I need to figure that part out because he certainly builds quickly and effectively. With all the priorities and everything else, hats off to Mr. Turczi for his solo mode, but I will tell you it is a heavy lift to go through. And it's somewhat exhausting. You read the rules for what he did, it's like, oh my gosh, how in the world am I ever going to sort this out? Well, the truth is you're not going to memorize it. What you're going to do is you're going to read it once, you'll be overwhelmed, you sit down and you start playing the game and you work through those tabs, and by the second round, it comes to fruition of like, this is the kind of moves he's going to be doing. He's going to be favoring his stuff for his weapons. You know, he goes right to left when he does some of those things. So there's some nuances, and I may have screwed a little bit of that up. But what I'm not worried about and how I'm going to make sure I like this game, I'm not going to be too worried about if I make a small little prioritization mishap. I'm going to look at the board now that I know what he's doing, and I'm going to say, this is the best move for him to do because it's clearly where it should be. And if I play for him being the best, it's going to keep it a lot more fun and move things along a lot easier now that I've got a feel for what he's going for. But this is a really cool spatial game. There's a lot of cool things. Each of those soldiers does something different, which is fun. There's some special tiles, which are great news to try to break things up, to try to see what you can maneuver. I don't think I've even scratched the surface on the cool tactical plays I could pull off. The action selection is fluid, which makes it fun and nice. I don't think that is anything specifically like, I play this just to rotate the wheels. That's not what this is about. That helps to make an interesting combinations of things that you can do on your turn. That's it. But it's a good one. It's a good one. I like what they did. It's not too fiddly at all. You usually are pretty strapped for cash because you're spending in other places. So it's not like it's a complete, oh, I'm always going to turn this or that. You really have to think, do I need to turn that wheel, the inner or the outer, or the inner or the middle, to make the best turn, or can I get away with not turning it? Maybe that's why I'm not doing so well. Maybe I'm being too stingy. I'm not sure. But regardless, I just think there's a lot of fun here for a solo player. And this is a very unique game. I don't think I have anything in my collection that strikes the kind of puzzle that this little spatial puzzle does for me. So I really like it. I'm very much enjoying it. If you're looking for something that's a little more breezy, or you don't like spatial puzzles like this, stay away from this game. You're gonna find it way too much of a work than an enjoyment. I love puzzling it out, but you might not. And if you don't like that kind of thing, this is not the game for you. There's a lot of gray matter, I think, required to see around the corner to see what I should be doing. And if it's not going to pay out now, will it pay out later, for later conditions and scoring and such. Either way, I think it's a keeper. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it, everybody. Whatever you do in the future, I hope you have a fantastic time doing it. Take it easy.